can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion.
So how did you know about the Danii cruise?
I found out about it 3 years ago. At the time, I was looking into getting CGM for myself, and was finding that funding CGM for myself very difficult. So one of my friends suggested, they knew about the Danii group on Facebook and suggested I go through them, and just at that very time they were advertising for the Danii cruise. So yeah, and they were asking for the scholarships, and that's how I came about on the very first cruise. Was I won a scholarship on, yeah.
So you've been on a Danii cruise before?
Yes.
And now you've come back?
Yes, yes.
And this is number 2?
Third.
Your third one?
Third time.
So a lot of people would say, why do you come back? Is it, there's a good holiday for you?
Yes.
You're meeting other people?
All the other diabetics. I enjoy coming back because I learn something new every time.
So the educational side?
Yep.
So what sort of things have you learnt this time?
Again, even this morning I was learning from some of the other parents. I have wheat bix in the morning, and I'm just not sure how to counteract the spiking of sugar level with the wheat bix. And so one of the parents suggested doing a dual wave with the wheat bix, which I would never have thought of. So I'm going to give that a go when I get home and do a bit of experimenting to see how that's going to work out for me.
So what's a dual, I'm ignorant, what's a dual wave?
Dual wave is when on your insulin pump, the two companies have different ways of saying it, but on your insulin pump, you're basically setting it up so that you're delivering your insulin across so many hours instead of in one continuous go right up front. So you're splitting your dose.
Yeah.
And you're choosing a percentage of how much you're going to get up front straight away and how much later on down the track, whether it be 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours later, to try and counteract the amount of carbs that you're having and what you're eating at the time.
Very good. Now the medical educational team that come on board, how valuable are they to you?
Very, very much valuable. Each one of them I've learnt so much from. I always go up to them every year. Doesn't matter who they are, and I can always have a chat to them. They're always helpful, very handy, very, very friendly.
So that's the one-on-ones?
Yes.
You can actually book in for a one-on-one?
Yes, that's right.
Or you can just tackle
or you can,
them anytime?
Throughout the cruise, you can just go up to them, stand aside and say, look, can we have a chat? And they're always happy to.
And if you would try to get that standard of education from when you're based on land, that would cost you a lot of money, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It can be very hard to try and, yes.
Yeah. So on a social level, you're meeting really good people, friends, but at the same time, you're getting this educational base. Yeah. And then you're getting a holiday thrown in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what better place to do it in?
So the cruise, what's the highlights for you?
The highlights for me is meeting all the different families, meeting and mixing and mingling and.
This is the Type 1 families.
Yeah, all the Type 1 families. Getting to chat to them, finding out just from everyone's experiences how each person is dealing with it differently, and there are so many different ways. Everybody has their own sort of methods and different things, and you learn from that.
I think that's one of the things that I learned was that there's not a single formula.
No.
So by talking to them, you're learning how to adjust things.
That's right.
Every time for you. So on the cruise itself, are you going next year?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes.
So that'll be cruise 4.
Exactly.
Fabulous. So where's next year's to?
PNG.
PNG.
Yeah, leaving Brisbane to Papua New Guinea.
Oh, fabulous. When's that leave?
The 5th of December next year.
5th of December 2019?
2019.
Oh, whoa. Good job, Robbie. All right. So the specialists that you've had on board, which ones do you tend to use? Like there's the psychiatrist, there's the counsellors themselves, there's the dietitians?
The dietitian, Lisa the dietitian, Tara the psychologist, and the endocrinologist this year who was Dr. Sultan. All amazing experts in their own fields. As well as having the Medtronics, Medtronics personnel always good to bounce back off when I've got a question to do with my pump.
Yeah, and then you have some keynote speakers that have also been involved in
Yes,
Type 1.
yes. Barnaby Howarth, he is just amazing to hear and listen to.
So what will you be able to take back this time?
I think it's the same as every year. I have an amazing experience, and I've always come back learning new and different things. So I can go back home and practice each different thing that I've learnt, and go and tell people in my community about this experience. And
So if this was your third cruise and you've already booked in for your 4, is there anybody you want to thank about this cruise?
Donna and Brian, most importantly. Every time they're heroes, true heroes.
So what have they done that makes them a hero to you?
Just the ability to bring everybody like this together.
So what age are you?
26.
You're 26, so
Yep.
you're not on the CGM under 21.
No, that's right.
So what would you say to the government about being 26 and needing that CGM?
It is so very important for anyone that's above the age of 21. All type 1 diabetics really do need this ability to get CGM funding. It is life-changing, life-saving technology.
So when you say life-saving, in what way? Like you've got a little machine.
Yep.
What does it do?
Just as an example, last night my levels were starting to drop in bed, and using CGM technology, it's suspended before low, which means I don't have to really think about anything. I know that in the morning I can wake up, see that that's happened, but because it's stopped, it's suspended my insulin, that low never actually occurred.
So you can go away, travel, overseas, international, do whatever you want to do and feel confident that you can do it solo.
Yes. And it's not just me that feels confident, it's also my parents back at home. My parents, well, no matter where I am, my mum always worries, I think about losing that little bit of independence with me going about. But it's peace of mind for her as well to know that I'm safe no matter where I am, because I've got this technology that can help stop and prevent these little complications from diabetes happening.
So are there people in your network, your circle, that are your age or certainly over 21 that don't have a CGM?
Yes, there is.
And what's their fear factor daily on being able to survive the night?
It's that not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing what your levels are doing, having to think about having to get up at 2 a.m. to check your levels, which isn't something we all enjoy. But the endos, if you're not on a CGM and if you can't afford it, that's what the endocrinologist or your healthcare team will tell you to do. And I know I don't like getting up at 2 o'clock to do tests.
So waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to do a test, what is a test?
Finger prick test. With CGM, it takes out the need for all those finger pricks. You only have to calibrate once or twice a day using finger pricking, which is less finger pricks is always a good thing.
So normally it would be, what, 8 to 12 a day?
Yeah.
Wow. You're fabulous, Robbie. Thanks so much.
No, I've still got a lot of fire left in me.